Welcome to Life Planning 101, brought to you by Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services in Eastland, Texas. Tune in every week as we share important information to help you and your family live life on purpose. Insurance, investments, legacy and tax planning, and much more. All covered now on Life Planning 101.
Welcome into Life Planning 101. My name is Angela Robinson with Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services in the big town of Eastland, Texas, and soon to be Three Forks, Montana. We have our open house on September 11th of 2025. Yes, we will bring in a little patriotic theme as well, as we all remember that horrible day in 2001. God bless those families and our soldiers who fought for our protection afterwards, and still to today. We've got some costly mistakes to talk about, and I'm specifically talking to you business owners that need to transition your business or want to transition your business or are thinking about transitioning your business. I've got 3 of these. And in fact, we're going to take this focus for the next couple of weeks. We're going to talk about the 3 most costly mistakes of transitioning your business this week. And then we're going to be talking about expensive pitfalls when you actually do go to sell your business, and you're going to be surprised of what those might be. So I would recommend, if you are a business owner, even if you're not thinking about transitioning your business, I'm going to reword that. Thinking about transitioning your business, about to transition your business, need to transition your business, or not even thinking about transitioning your business, you need to be listening to this. Because here, let's be blunt. Business owners are just slightly emotional about their businesses. And I know, this is one of those areas that I could search for hours looking for a joke to come up with, but I think I'm just going to give you the image of one of those gifts that you send in a text message that's like on the bottom, it says, "I'm not emotional," and it's just this little girl throwing a temper tantrum. It reminds me of the little girl off of the Little Rascals. Darla, that's right. Darla was her name. So anyway, business owners, they're slightly emotional about their businesses, and especially as the time approaches for them to step away from the control of their business. Now, I know I just picked on you, but in truth, there is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into your building your business. I mean, heck, I get it. I must be picking on myself today too. I mean, you have sleepless nights. There's times you don't know if you're going to make it. There's sacrifices you still wonder if you should have made when it comes to your family, your friends, etc. Your business is not unlike your children, if you really think about it. Think about how much passion and energy and focus and discipline went into raising your business. And I dare to say that most people can't even fathom it that aren't business owners. They think they know, but they really don't know. And so I take this as kind of one of these moments of truth and grace. The truth is you are slightly emotional about your business. And when you're in a position that you're making emotional decisions, well, those aren't necessarily the best decisions. There's the truth. Here's the grace. All the stuff that we just talked about is a really good reason of why business owners feel this way. And the majority of them actually fail when it comes to selling their business. You heard me say that. The majority of business owners actually fail when it comes to selling their business, either because they can't sell it, they end up having to liquidate it, they get not even near what they thought they were going to get for it. They fail. And perhaps they don't get, even what they think it would be worst in the worst case scenario. Because I think just like our child, they're awesome. They're amazing, right? No one can do it the way we can do it. And in some cases, that is very, very true. But the thing is you have to have a business that's attractive and ready to sell. And then when it is ready to sell, if no one could do it the way you did it, is that transferable? And there's a significant amount of proof that businesses don't often make it to the 3rd generation. So let's just say that you're passing it down. There's this old saying, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. Why is that? Well, generation 1, we just talked about you. Blood, the sweat, the tears. Generation 2, this might be you too. You grew up in that situation. You still had to do it, but you wanted something better for your kids. And because of that, they didn't know that pain. Because they didn't know that pain, they're often not ready to be able to take on that business. Or simply could be because there's family dynamics that no one agrees about. But we're not going to go there today. You're probably thinking at this point, well, that's not me. That's not my business. And that may be true. But statistics are arguing strongly against that. Okay? And here's why. So I'm going to give you these 3 most costly mistakes when transitioning your business. Number 1, you're running on empty. Too many business owners drive hard and fast until they simply can't. I mean, I cannot tell you how many business owners that we will tell them what they do. They say, oh man, I need that. And then it's like pulling teeth to even get an hour of their time because they're driving so hard and so fast. And then it becomes a health event, a death, or they are just completely burnout, or they can't even do anymore. And they make the unfortunate mistake of waiting to plan for the transition of their business until one of these events occur. So what happens? Well, they're not getting top dollar. Surprise, you're not. If you are, well, you better keep it on your knees. You've got a lot of favor from the Lord. Your retirement is probably going to be a little grimmer than what you thought it was going to be, and that would be financially and or physically. Again, you were burnt out. You're burning the candle at both ends. Have you actually thought about that? You're working so hard to get somewhere. When you finally get there, you don't have your health. And in some cases, your best hope in this scenario is a fire sale or a liquidation in order to take care of you and your family. So here's your tip. Find the time. Start planning right now. Whether you are 30, you are 50, or you are 70, you already have 2 exit plans in place at all times. And that is the fact that you are going to leave vertically or you are going to leave horizontally. So you might as well start planning for it. All right, let's get on to number 2. Buzz. I need some sound effects for this show. Anyway, business owners are notorious for building a honeybee business. This implies that every question and every approval has to come to the queen business owner. Yeah, the queen bee. Sorry, guys. In your hive. And yeah, this might be a reason for burnout. I don't know. I just kind of a connection there. If you have to do everything. Well, let me tell you something about this from the buyer's perspective. That's not an attractive business for a buyer or any successor, really, for that matter. I mean, why would they want to buy a business that lives and dies by the owner and the owner wants to get out? They're either going to have to take that on, revamp the company. It's going to take a lot of risk because things may not stay the same. They may lose customers. They may lose key employees over it. And they're going to prefer this other business over here that's what's quote unquote self-managing. It's more like a Christmas tree instead of a honeybee. Because when the business owner walks away for 6 months or a year or whatever, it's able to at least self-sustain. Better yet, start growing. So what's the result of this? Well, ding, 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 ding. That's the right answer. You're not getting top dollar. Your retirement also may look a little grimmer than you thought it was going to, financially and or physically, just like we talked about in the first scenario. You may not be able to sell your business at all. Your business may not survive the transition if you're actually trying to pass it on, unless you continue to be a big part of it. Is that what you really want? So here's your focus. You need to focus on making your business a self-managing company. Like we said, think Christmas tree. Here, perhaps set a goal. I know years ago, as part of a strategic coaching, they talked about having a 1-year vacation, a 365-day vacation for the business owner. and what the business would do during that time. And best case scenario is that it grows while you're gone. It is absolutely true that no one can do what you do, or no one knows how to do everything that you do. But that is actually the exact same proof that your business cannot transition successfully. So we have to focus on that. And by the way, there's great resources and people to help you do this. You don't have to do the job alone. So you know exactly where to start. I was on the phone recently. We've actually had the gentleman right here on Life Planning 101 before, and I went through this exercise of what you do and why you think other people can't do it. It was a tremendous exercise. It's extremely enlightening. So I said, I need to do this for myself. This is impressive. So there are tools and resources, but again, it kind of starts with you. You got to find the time to work on your business, not just in your business. And that leads me to number 3. Everything for a business owner, everything is a priority. This is the core of a business owner's life. I mean, you really think about it. Business owners live in the moment all the time and in their business rather than out of their business. And they're not working on their business. And so they're not strategically planning. Work-life balance and dreaming about the future, it doesn't happen as much as it needs to. Man, you know it, guys. When you go away on a vacation or for even a business meeting and have a few hours in the car by yourself, what kind of things can your brain actually accomplish? And it's amazing, right? You're like, man, I needed that respite. Well, you needed that respite because that's what you're built to do, is work on your business, not necessarily in your business. And you need the time to strategically plan, and you need the time to have that work-life balance and dream about the future. But this is not the way that it usually happens. Instead, everything's a priority, and the business is ultimately suffering because of it, but so does the health of the business owner, the family of that business owner, and your future retirement. So again, why are you doing all this? So here's your result. If that's the way you run your business, you're not getting top dollar. Your retirement outlook is going to look grim financially and or physically and or mentally. You strain yourself for that long, what's going to happen? In your business, it's not going to be ready for transition, and neither are you. So here's your tip. And this is for your business and you. You should be ready to transition that business, because remember, you don't have to just walk out vertically. Sometimes you go out horizontally. So you got to be ready for that at any moment. So every quarter, your business should be ready to transition or sell every single quarter. And every quarter, if you're in that position, then you have a choice to keep it or grow it. And if you've taken care of these other things, I beg to ask, how much fun would it be? So the question is, what holes exist today that aren't allowing this to happen? I really hope this is thought-provoking. I really hope that you take some time, pen, a piece of paper, and you. Coffee, front porch. Maybe it's too hot in Texas. But take some time and really think about this. It's very important. It's you. It's your family. It's your future, financially, physically, mentally. It's everything. It's your business. There's a common component here, and you're probably not going to like it when I say it, because that component is you, the business owner. No one else. You can't delegate this to anyone. Now, when you come up with a game plan, there's plenty to delegate. But the thinking, and the thinking about your thinking, and the decisions that have to be made to make a change, that is you. So I'm going to ask you something really hard. If you really start thinking about this and you say, okay, man, I've got to make some changes, I want you to remember this, that all progress starts by telling the truth. And the first person you have to tell the truth to is, guess who? Yourself. That's a lesson that I learned years ago from Dan Sullivan, the founder of Strategic Coach. So if you want your business to be attractive and ready for transition, if you want to leave a lasting legacy for 3 generations, if you want to retire successfully and you want to stay successfully retired, then now is the time to do something about it. And there's good news here. We're here to help. This is what we do. Helping people live life on purpose. Well, that certainly means making sure that you have a plan in place to be able to exit your business, whether that's horizontally or vertically, and helping that next generation, right? So we empower ourselves. In fact, there's two of us within the firm that have what's called a certified exit planning advisor designation for this reason. We continue to grow our knowledge on how to help business owners do this effectively. And we have loads of resources to do that. So take advantage of us. That is why we're here. Don't wait until you're burnt out and you say, man, I got to do this and I want to do it the most tax efficient way and as quick as we can. And then, oh, by the way, I want this in retirement. And then we have to say, oh man, okay, because we waited to the last minute, we can't do this the most tax efficient way. We could save some taxes, but here's how we're going to do it in most cases. And you aren't going to get what you want in retirement. So something's got to give. Which part of this do you want to give? And then you're going to struggle with it. And maybe some business owners, in fact, we've had history of this, they don't even do it. And so they end up depleting their assets because they live high on the hog anyway. They say, well, I earned it. And they deplete them. And they die with little to nothing. And if that's fine with you, it's fine with us. But I just want you to have the reality here that if you do this early and you do this the right way, it can make all the difference in the world. So don't wait. Do you want to live life by default or do you want to live it on purpose? That's the bottom line here. Get yourself that pen, that piece of paper, really go to thinking about what we talked about today, and then give us a call. We'll take an hour and we'll really figure out where we need to start. My name is Angela Robinson, again with Kennedy Financial Services and Smart Money Group. God bless you. Have a great week and join us right here next week on Life Planning 101, where we're helping people live life on purpose.
Thank you for joining us for Life Planning 101, brought to you by Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services. If you have questions, you can email them to lifeplanning@kennedy-financial.com. Don't forget to learn how our sister company can assist you with all of your tax and consulting needs. You can find out more at briscoeandassociates.com. Be sure to tune in next week for more Life Planning 101. The opinions expressed herein are those of the firm and are subject to change without notice. The opinions referenced are as of the date of publication and are subject to change due to changes in the market or economic conditions and may not necessarily come to pass. Any opinions, projections, or forward-looking statements expressed herein are solely those of the author, may differ from the views or opinions expressed by other areas of the firm, and are only for general informational purposes as of the date indicated. Securities offered through Calton & Associates Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Smart Money Group LLC. Kennedy Financial Services and Smart Money Group LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by Calton & Associates Incorporated.